Hello and welcome back to Thayú Homestead. Today I've decided my voice will be the biggest thing about my videos now, because I'm like, what's the biggest thing I do when I'm editing? It's talking, like voiceovers of my actual life, and I like it. So today we're having this mini haul. Today we're going to talk about, actually not talk about, it's more like I'll show you how to render tallow. Tallow ni ngarango. What's the name in Kiswahili? I don't know the name in Kiswahili, but ni mafuta ya ng'ombe. Tallow is cow fat, basically. Now the mafuta you just saw, the meat I just showed you in the green paper is the one where ilikuwa ya 100 bob. It was 100 shillings, and that's the one I am going to render today. So all my life I knew it as ngarango, like the fat from the cow, and honestly it's perceived to be like poor people's food, you know. And as I grow up I realized that's the more I don't get it. Like as I get into farming, homesteading, the more I just don't get. Tumefika kwa pilipili. So this chilies, we got them at 10 shillings, and it was 10 shillings a handful. Then I told this girl, okay, the one who was selling, if I take a handful, I have a really large hand and it's going to get larger just because you've told me this. You've given me this piece of information. So akapima na yake. So let's see how her hand fits to mine, because let's just see, because I think I was duped. Was I duped? No, I actually think this is a fair price for chilies. If a whole handful is 10 shillings and we are still using them to date, I can't even remember when this was, but we're still using them. They're not over yet. And we use chilies in almost everything. We had to use chilies to actually flavor the oil. And in a short while, I'll actually tell you why we had to use the oil, the chilies, to actually flavor the oil, because we used a couple of other things for our previous oil and a couple of... I'll tell you why. Another thing we did was minced meat. So what we do is we get ile samosa. I found out, you know, a long time ago I used to wonder, how do samosa people make like a living off of normal lean beef, like ground lean beef, because ground beef is expensive. But then I found out uku Dagoretti market you can actually get they call it waste. It is for the lungs, the mahori. I don't know why I have the names in my head in Kikuyu, and honestly I've been learning so much Kikuyu and I'm so stoked. They're minced with leek onions, danias, ginger, anything you basically want to give to that guy to just put inside your meat. That sounds wrong, but yeah, anything you want to. So I once went for this leek onion at Kangemi, and it was one leek at 50 bob. And then when I went in a few weeks ago at Dagoretti, I was expecting the same price, and I was so scared of like, oh my god, and I don't have the 50 shillings for all this and all this. How the hell do samosa people make a profit? And then I asked this person, okay, unauzaje? And she was like, tano 50. And I was like, please repeat. They're going for five leeks at 50 shillings. I had to call my mother. Yeah. I like putting my meat in 500. I like putting my meat. I like putting meat. I like in 500 gram containers, because it's first of all fun to just separate the meat. Okay. First of all, it's fun. Second, it just makes it easier to cook. Like, oh, I cook a batch of this for supper. I measure it like that. If I want anyone else cooking in the house, I'll be like, okay, just take a packet, because you can tell someone, oh, because I live with a whole male human being, it's like, oh, ebugawa yo nyama, oh, you will find less than a quarter of your meat left. That also sounds wrong, but yes. So I like doing this. It's easier. And so it begins, the chop up. I love chopping this meat up because, yes, there's some really slippery, slimy parts, but honestly, this meat is so much nicer to chop. As a Nyerian, I understand that saying I like to chop meat is a very, very, it can be very contradictory because I'm from Nyeri and chopping meat is, well, it's a thing. But honestly, it's ningumu enough for it not to just keep, you know, and it's fun to actually chop it up. Look at me go, look at me go, look at me go, look at me, look at that blanket, and zoop, look at it, zoop, and I'm done. Man, I love editing. No, I hate editing. I love editing. Editing is not easy. Okay, I don't want to say I love it or I hate it, but editing is just not easy. But I liked that one. I liked that. Okay, so I put it. The reason I'm doing this in the oven is because sina sufuri. I don't have like this hard sufurias, and we cook with an electric coil, which is really, really difficult to actually keep soft sufurias and expect that they will render your water. You see this chilies? We started using this chilies today. Why do my hands look so crusty? I put the chilies there, and then in a preheated oven, I put maximum. I don't know, maximum is like 250, I think. Maximum is 250 degrees Celsius. I have to specify that because I realized every cooking video I watch, it's in degrees Fahrenheit, and I have to convert that. And I hate that. But also, it's fine. See, when you eat food that has been made with tallow, it actually, ngarango, it actually makes it like you can't wait for the food to cool. Hivi vile unangojea chakula ipoe, your food can't pour. No, it will remain. Like, okay, so recently we've been cooking with a lot of turmeric, and it just turns everything to a slight orange yellow. So once you eat, and it's left on your lips, and I guess everything has pros and cons, but honestly, the cons of it do not outweigh the pros. The pros are so many, because about 100 bob worth of this meat, nyama ya ngarango, 100 bob worth of it actually gives us oil for about 2 months or a month and a half, like that, because we are two people, we're not exactly cooking much, but it actually stays for a while. This is around when it was near my first rendering. I really wanted to use lard, but lard is a bit far from my reach. Iko na huko Dumbo, and I am near Ndonyo, so I figured let me just use tallow first. Lard, I'll use it mostly for baking, and I'll get it later when I can actually afford to go all the way there and actually buy it. So this is my first rendering, and honestly, you have to stay near the oven or keep 10-minute timers on your phone, 20-minute timers on your phone, because you really don't want it to burn. In the oven, amakwa, like on your pot in the fire, you actually do not want it to burn on its own, because it will stick to the ground. It will actually stick kwa pot, kwa ground ya pan, yeah, whatever it is you are cooking with, and that won't actually be nice. It will taste burnt, and that's not really what you're going for. You're going for something that looks this yellow liquid, this urine looking liquid that will actually become white when it cools down. So other than saving us a lot of money, this is also a homesteading way for me to actually learn new skills and new things to do, especially with my what is this called, solid oils, the fats, the lipids, because other ways to actually use it, because nikiuza nguruwe, anytime I sell my pigs, people are like, the people I sell it to are like, can we get less of the skin, can we get less of I don't know what to do with it. Okay, it comes as a package deal, but as soon as I started watching these videos, as soon as I started needing more sustainable ways to reduce our food costs, to reduce our, hey man, being broke in Nairobi requires you to start thinking up new ways to survive, man, and you gotta cook, right? So unafikiria tu other ways, and this was another way of actually reducing food cost, because yes, it actually does, and it gives you a little bit of crispy meat for the day. So every time nikinunua, when I buy this meat, I know in the evening we're eating like it's ugali, because all this, I can't quite eat nyama ya mafuta. I'm those people. I can't eat oily, like this oily fatty meat. Like you find your meat has like fat. I can't bite into it. I just no, it feels like you're eating a spoon of butter or like a spoon of blue band. It's just no. So when it renders down completely, they become crunchy, dark pieces of meat, and you just put it unaiweka kwa sukuma zako ndani, and you just eat ugali with it, and it's amazing. It is now time for the second rendering. See that second batch? That's the last batch. And those dry ones will just go back up there just so that they can, like finish off. And I had to give some to the cat. I'm just doing voiceovers of my basic life, basically. It's so nice. I like this. I don't quite hate this part of editing. It's actually nice. See how like dry and crinkly those are? It's actually nice, but they haven't finished their oil. I still can't eat them at this point. They haven't finished their oils. You see? Then I move that there, and then I do that, and then I do that, and then there's the oil. Honestly, no matter how much oil I actually remove from this thing, so long as there's still some those you see those yellowish ones, they make me just return it back in the oven. Or if I am cooking with them, I actually place them inside the sufuria as the first thing, and then the onions, just so that they can continue rendering. And just, it's like when you put bacon in the pan or whatever you're cooking with. Look at that oil, look at that nice fat. Okay, it's oil because it's in liquid form right now, right? But that oil is hot like a heater. It's very, very hot, by the way. Please, especially in the oven method, keep this away from children, clumsy people. And as I say that, I realize I am most certainly both and should not be doing this. But since I have an ID, they apparently say that this is legal for us. So, yeah. When you put bacon in the pan, and then you render that fat a little bit, ngarango of the bacon is so fancy, you don't think it actually has, it can be ngarango, like bacon removes tallow as fat or lard as its fat. It's like, nah, you lying, right? You lying. It's too fancy to do that anyway. And then you remove it, and then you use that oil to like cook an egg or cook some sausages or cook something else. Basically, it's usually a lot of like oil on the pan, and it's just like zero waste. Like you're just reusing that or removing that fat just so that, because actually if you cook this fatty meats in just water, they don't remove their oils, and it's not that flavorful. Oh, here I am just using a little bit of previous tallow from the previous rendering. I was cooking some mutukanio rice because I am that girl that prefers to do one pot meals just so that they don't get the headache of cooking 3-4 meals. Yeah, because I'm like that. Anyway, I've already filled one jar. You see that? and I am on my way to the I am a quarter way through the next jar, and just look at that. Look at that. That looks so nice. I feel like a little accomplishment, and it was on my list for the day. So I was like, chop meat, cut firi firi, and then render it. So everything, fill one jar. Everything is just, going according to the list. I was just checking things, and checking things. And honestly, checking things from my list gives me a mini orgasm. So I will do it for as long as I possibly can because it raises my dopamine levels and I love it. And it was also raining, so these are the kind of things that I prefer to do inside the house. The things you can get done when like on a rainy day. You can just, oh my god, they're so browned, they're nicely browned. Ugh, delicious. But yeah, these are the things you can do on a rainy day. They're those small things about nesting, about taking care of the food that you will have tomorrow, taking care of. And it's just small things like this that ensure preservation of the self. And the more I'm in charge of the food I eat, the more I'm in charge of the things I consume, the more conscious I am, the more I do not waste food, the less sugar I consume actually. I think it's more about me being a pre-diabetic and having PCOS. But also it makes you waste less food. You see that way that a parent can tell you, oh, we're not going to buy fries because there's food in the house. These days that's me to myself, also because I do not have the money to buy snacks on the road. Ehe, niye wonaga demo turi. Huh? Pariore aya. Sa. Niangalia na kasura kako niambia you are secretly thinking I am Motorix. I am not Motorix. Probably the last one. So here is the ngarango. Like, okay, I apparently I've been told the ngarango is the last part of that meat, like the ones that have already been rendered, and the mafta, the fat itself, the oil before it becomes the fat, and the fat itself is called nguruhu. I am learning so much Kikuyu and I'm so proud. The problem is I'm learning it from a Kiambu person and I'm not actually sure whether it is betraying my Nyeriness, which is very, very weird. Okay, Kikuyu is supposed to be Kikuyu, but we all know Kikuyu is not Kikuyu because you come and talk to me with that Kirinyaga Kikuyu, I will boop your ass in my head and then probably let you speak because you have freedom of speech no matter where the hell you're from, even if it is Kirinyaga Kikuyu. That brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for hanging out with me, and if you're not subscribed yet, please wait for that, like the next 3, 4, 5 videos to actually subscribe. I am sorry, I'm not going to be the one that encourages you to subscribe before I have at least 10 videos. So this is the food, and I cook 1 pot meal because I like it. This one has a stem from a rosemary plant. Bye.